What's good, everybody? I appreciate y'all coming to check out the channel. When you get over here, what's poppin'? I'm your homie Hood. What's good? We got a new show today. We going in another direction. We got some stuff talking about the one and only Jay-Z, the billionaire in the building. You know what I'm saying? We know Jay-Z is super rich. You know what I'm saying? We know rappers are making a lot of money and they building empires. You know, Jay-Z, Nipsey Hussle. We want to talk about the discovery of the new money inside the hip hop and the entrepreneurial generation of wealth that's happening from real estate, tech, liquor, fashion, and everything else they got going on. So that's really what I want to do right now. So I want to welcome y'all to the Wealth Hustle live. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna break down some money moves that's made some fame and fortune for some of the best players in the games and the strategies that they use to build their own hustle. So you know what I'm saying? I want to welcome you viewers to the show. You know what I'm saying? And this is our first episode. So what happens when culture meets money? You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna talk about some of the biggest players in the game, the rappers, Jay Z, and there's other people too. Like it's even independent people like a boy who does strange music, which is the guy named uh, I always forget his name, Tech Nine, but he's famous. He's in St. Kansas, and he's been doing his thing. Kansas City. That's always the difference between those two. I can't remember which one, Missouri, whichever one he's in, but he's in Kansas City if I'm not mistaken. Let me check my sound. Sounding. It's sounding legit. So let's go over here to where Jay Z is being talked about. So he's Mr. Forbes, Mr. Super Millionaire. There's many documentaries about him at this point. So I'm gonna try to let somebody explain some of his investments if this is exactly what they're gonna do right here. Let's get to it. And I appreciate y'all coming to check out the channel.
Jay-Z was just Sean Carter from Brooklyn.
All right.
He grew up in a rough neighborhood where opportunities were rare. Life wasn't easy. His father left when he was young, and he was raised by his mother. But even in those tough times, Jay-Z had one thing most people didn't: ambition. He began writing lyrics, using music as an escape. With no record label ready to sign him, he took a bold step. He started his own label, Rockefeller Records. That's how his business journey began. Jay-Z didn't just make music, he turned rap into a business. In the 1990s, when most artists were signing deals with big labels, Jay-Z made a bold choice. He co-founded his own label, Rockefeller Records, because no one wanted to sign him at first. This decision gave him full control over his music, his money, and his message. His lyrics weren't just about beats and rhymes. They were full of business lessons, street knowledge, and ambition. Songs like Can't Knock the Hustle and Hard Knock Life showed the world he wasn't just a rapper. He was a thinker, a strategist. By owning his masters and building a strong image through rap, Jay-Z didn't just earn fame. He built a foundation for his empire. For him, rap was the first step. The mic wasn't the end goal, it was the start of something much bigger. As Jay-Z's music career exploded, bigger opportunities started knocking, and he knew exactly how to answer. One of his most legendary moves came when he partnered with Def Jam in 2004, not just as an artist, but as the president and CEO. That's right, from hustling mixtapes on the streets to running one of the biggest labels in the world.
And that was one of his biggest feats was after he got started, Jay-Z was able to start working with the other guy, like doing basically what old boy had did, Russell Simmons, where he started actually running the record company. And that was to his benefit because that made him seem like a genius. And for him to come from obscurity to actually making it to the top label in the rap game, because you know all of the best rappers had came from that company. So it was like such a win for Jay to be the one who was getting that chance. But for him to succeed the way he did and make it to that level, it's always been like this big, big talk in our culture as black people and as hip hoppers about the level that Jay Z made it to. So let's get back to it and see what else they got to say about Jay.
This wasn't just about signing artists or dropping albums. Jay-Z used this position to change the game. He helped launch careers for stars like Rihanna and Nee, proving he had an eye for talent and business. And he didn't stay trapped in just one deal. He knew when to walk away. But one of his boldest business decisions came in the fashion world. In 1999, Jay-Z co-founded Rocawear, a streetwear clothing brand. Many people thought it was just another celebrity fashion stunt, but Jay-Z proved them wrong. Rocawear grew fast and made millions. Then in 2007, he made a power move. He sold the rights to Rocawear for $204 million. That's when the world realized Jay-Z wasn't just a rapper. He was a serious businessman. Every deal he touched had a purpose. He wasn't chasing money, he was building legacy. Whether it was in music, fashion, or executive roles, Jay-Z made sure every move added to his empire. Each deal.
So and that's really one of the true things. This may be some kind of AI right here talking, but what it's saying is true, except for that, especially on that point. Jay Z was making moves, and the moves, and that was the success that he was able to come up with, and everybody was happy for Jay. You know what I mean? To be able to make that kind of level of success. You know what I'm saying? But it's not easy, and he's not the only one who's done such a feat. But he's looked like we just became unfrozen. Yay! Because sometimes it freezes. It looked like it's unfrozen on my phone. So that's a good thing. Yeah, so I'm gonna put this little poll over here, and then you guys can decide what you think. But yeah, that was one of his great feats. Jay Z was able to make moves and catapult himself way further than a regular person or the regular people that was actually doing stuff with him. So I think that that was his feat. But then, he hooked up with that girl. He hooked up with that girl. So here go another documentary. We'll see what they said on this documentary called A Rap CEO. And it's got a little segment about Jay Z. But we all rock with Jay. So we want to see what they got to say. Let's see. It's probably not going to be that fat fancy. Let's see.
996. A 26-year-old from Brooklyn walks into every major record label: Universal, Sony, Atlantic. They all say the same thing. No thanks. Fast forward 23 years. That same kid sits across from luxury executives. He's selling half his champagne company for $315 million. His net worth, $1.4 billion. This isn't a fairy tale. This is
Actually, I don't like this one because it got that music playing and that shit is terrible and it's interrupting me. So I don't like this one. We getting out of here. That music is terrible. Sounds too loud. But as Jay did build an empire, it's not easy to do that. And having your money that you building up with is really it's not easy to do, but he's able to do it. And he's worked from having music all the way up to now, where he's a fucking billionaire, and that's not easy to do. I also would think about somebody like Drake too, because Drake did the same thing. Built an empire from his legacy in the music industry. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that many guys that have built brands to that level. Especially, but there's a lot of people that made money in rap. We do know that.
Jay-Z has been prominent in the music industry in executive positions. He was the president of Def Jam Recordings from 2005 to 2008 and founded the entertainment agency Roc Nation in the latter year. In 1999, Jay and Damon Dash co-created the clothing line Rocawear. By 2000, the company was generating $50 million.
And that company was going crazy. It seemed like a lot of people with today's times, the documentaries on Jay Z are all AI generated. This is something really deep for me to see because as we do the research and we do the breakdown, all this shit is AI.
Influential figures in music transformed from a street hustler into a business mogul with a multi-billion-dollar empire. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the fascinating journey of Jay-Z, a man whose relentless drive, business acumen, and visionary mindset have redefined what it means to be a celebrity entrepreneur. In this video,
yeah, I don't like this one either. So as we try to
we'll explore
walk the
key
landscape to
moments
see what's going on with Jay, is most of these things are actually AI. So we're not gonna have no real information being ripped from these things. These are basically just AI generations. Nothing wrong with that, but it's not what I'm looking for. Because we all know a lot of the stuff that's saying basic conversation about Jay. We know what that is. We don't need an AI to tell us.
Jay-Z is a living testament to the power of luxury, business acumen, and cultural dominance. From his humble beginnings to becoming a 2.
Yeah, so looks like all of the information that we could find on Jay at this point, it's just really just AI. So we don't really have we got to find some humans talking. But most times you're not going to find that many humans because a lot of people got this unmitigated respect for Jay. Well, they don't say too much about him in the media.
I want to pivot back to Jay-Z because Jay-Z, although he got his start in music, he doesn't do a whole lot of music now. Maybe he'll jump on somebody's feature, but for the most part, Jay-Z is a businessman outside of the world of music.
Yes.
When you was with him, did you see this entrepreneurial side of Hov then?
Absolutely. He comes on the streets. So when we was in the streets, all of us used to see each other. The thing about Jay-Z, and I always noticed this in life, when you take care of your crew, you get blessed.
Right.
When Jay-Z turns the corner in a Bentley, his crew turns the corner in a Bentley.
Right.
We did a show in Philly, and they must have had 9 Bentleys pull up backstage. I'm talking about
Damn.
cream top, burgundy. I ain't never seen these colors in Bentleys before. Now, I got a little jewelry on, but when they hit the stage, it lit up the stadium.
Right.
Like when the lights hit it,
Yeah, they ice out like that.
it was ice like that. It lit up the stadium. It was like, it was a different type of rainbow, like blue, purple, pink. I still remember to this day because I was there. So that's what I liked about Jay-Z.
I want to pivot back to Jay-Z.
And that gives you a good point right there. He said if he take care of his crew. Well, if you think about it, Jay-Z had 10, 15 guys around him the entire time. And everybody had a rap career except for one guy. And you already know who that guy is. Everybody had a rap career that was around Jay. Not nobody didn't, except for one dude that was Dame Dash. And that's the guy who don't like Jay-Z to this day because he didn't he didn't have a hustle in him where he was making music. Music is so critical, especially you can see today. It's the one thing that changes with the technology. It's not like music don't sit back. Music sometimes push technology because they wasn't even on the internet like that until music got on the internet. And then when Napster and all that shit was trying to steal music, that made everybody be like, well, shit, I'm going to listen to my music on the internet. And then everybody started making money from just the internet and pods and all of that shit. But before that, you listen to music on CDs and cassettes, and most times CDs at the latter part. But Jay made money in all of these areas. He made money in the street part where you hustling on the street. He made money in the record companies. He made money in the streaming world. You know what I'm saying? So every genre of the game, he's been able to find his way into it. And then imagine if he didn't get into the game back in the day when it was actually just selling on the street, and he probably looked down on that. Like, I'm not going to sell on the street. Or he didn't want to go get into it when it was in the record companies. Like, man, I don't need no record deal. Or if right when the streaming come out, he'd be like, man, I ain't interested in that. That's not what I'm used to. So no matter what element of the game came about, Jay-Z shifted to that particular element. He didn't let that shit leave him behind. And that's something else that a wealth tech person be thinking. Whatever's the technology that's coming around, you're not gonna run from him or run towards it. And he got his music on all the platforms. He even owned Tidal, which is the company that put out music, but I think he sold it at this point. So, excuse me. Jay been definitely building an empire on that side, so that's why I really wanted to talk about that because we already know what his wife do. She do the most. You know what I'm saying? She really is a jammer. You know what I'm saying in the game. And but Jay got some shit going on with all the stuff he's into. Let's see what they saying right here. Look like it's another country.
Brooklyn to dropping his first album, Reasonable Doubt, in '96. Jay-Z quickly proved he was more than just a rapper. With hits like Hard.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff is just basically AI generated info because his information is so large and out there. The computers can just, it's probably already in the computers. You know what I'm saying? But we can still play around.
Jay-Z's net worth has soared to $2.5 billion.
$2.5 billion is not even real. But that's the level of finance. You see how that situation went away when he was dealing with that guy trying to knock him off. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. Choke no joke on how Dipset video disrespected Jay-Z. Let's go to it. Choke no joke gonna talk about how in the hip hop industry this song disrespected Jay-Z.
Auto-tune is way more
Shut
than
up.
just pitch correction.
Gotta shut the commercial up just a second. Now, why would they freeze on this dude? We were working fine all this time. Get out of here.
It really gives me a whole
Freezing on this dude.
Did not know, at least I did not know about the Dame and Aaliyah situation. Him, Jay-Z dating Aaliyah first. That would explain a lot. Because I can tell you, if I think back to where a guy that I thought was my guy, and he messed around with a chick that I was with, I would definitely feel some type of way about that. I would feel some type, even if I didn't care nothing about her, it's a code, right? It's an unwritten code. I mean, I mean, do you think that perhaps that's one of the reasons why
That's definitely the reason.
Jay-Z really don't trust? He don't help Dame because he don't trust Dame, or he took off with the company because of this long-standing feud.
Yeah, I mean
relationship.
that's definitely a big part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like there has to be some level of respect. Now, you know, Cameron and the Dipset, disrespecting Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying on the label. The Dipset anthem. Two more for Cam for taking over the rock. Yeah, yeah. And this stupid nigga go get in the video, him and Biggs, and they at that part, they get in the video and they like, come on, at what point how long you gonna keep disrespecting this dude for him to feel the way that he's feeling or move the way that he's moving? Jay-Z and Dame never had an argument. I've never seen these dudes have an argument. You know what I'm saying? It just got to the point where Dame just got too disrespectful. Dame tried to holler at Beyonce at the Change Clothes video. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, Dame. Come on, man.
You know, Dame was just,
man, I refuse to believe it.
You don't have to believe it. I was there. Like, you can ask Jay if he ever talk about it. And then it got to the point where Jay had it to where Dame couldn't even come around Beyonce.
I knew that. I can't wait. Look, I told my wife that a long time ago. I said that is the only reason why they don't talk, because of a female. Now, what female it was, we're not that close to them to know. But choke no joke, this guy you hear talking, he was the cameraman with them back in 2000 whatever, and he stayed. But what happened was Jay-Z wasn't used to cameras at that point, so he had his homies jump this guy, and this guy got beat up, and he sued Jay. But Jay wrote him a check, and it was over with. But he didn't work with them no more. But he still had all the footage. So when the internet came about, he started putting the footage up on the internet. And then, that's how we found out about the Rockefeller behind the scenes stuff. But, that's how we know who he is exactly, too. But I knew it had to be something, because I'm thinking, like, as two homies that made millions of dollars and now they hate each other, or Jay refused to even talk to this guy. Like, you might not fuck with somebody, but refuse to even talk to him. Refuse to even be in a room. Refuse to even be at a reunion. Refuse to even set up a situation where they all in the same room. Like, no connection. To me, that has something to do with your female, because otherwise, in Jay's mind, the way I see it playing out, Jay-Z's feeling like, if I see this nigga, I'm gonna whoop his ass. I'm whooping his ass, and I'm not gonna put myself in a predicament where I gotta go whoop this nigga ass. What he did that day, this moment, this situation, it was too far. Now, we not their friends, so we didn't know what happened, what they did. Jay-Z got a point, Dame got a point. Nobody would even ever know, but you can see Jay got this hard 10-foot pole that he just do not let go across. And Dame can't be around his kids. He can't be around Beyonce. None of that. He would do that with Kanye West. So is it the money? Is it the richness? Like, I'm so rich, I'm above being around regular people. Like, you can't be around me. I literally own 2 motherfucking jet planes. I literally own 3 yachts. Like, what are we around each other for? My friends that's around me, they got 15 planes. They got 37 yachts. So why are we around each other and you talking about you still got to pay your rent, or you still got to get your car note, or you just caught a flat tire, or somebody died? I don't want to hear all that shit. I'm over here rich. We living. So I sometimes believe that the wealth might allow them to come to that vantage point where they just don't want to be around regular people no more. But that still don't. I don't think that make them such a bad person. It's just that the money did that to them. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy, but the money is the money. We gotta let the money be the money. So that's all I want to let you. Not that ain't all, but I want to just talk about this real quick and see what the guy was saying.
So I did that in the DVD, right? So I went, and how I came in was.
Let's go.
But Dame just got too disrespectful. Dame tried to holler at Beyonce at the Change Clothes.
Dame, come on, man.
Dame was just,
Man, I refuse to believe it.
You don't have to believe it. I was there. Like, you can ask Jay if he ever talk about it. And then it got to the point where Jay had it to where Dame couldn't even come around Beyonce.
let's go back to the beginning of Rockefeller. When Rockefeller started, uh, you at what point did you come in?
'03, Bonnie and Clyde, before that came out. And well, how I came in was I was doing my tunnel thing, right? You know, I used to put these music video documentaries out on the tunnel, right? From, everybody performed at the tunnel, from Jay-Z to Nas to Domino, Ice Cube, everybody that was somebody in hip hop. If you came to New York, this is the venue you had to do.
So
You
you could
know,
go
so
deeper into his conversation, but we're really talking about the wealth aspect of Jay. But it seemed like I wanted to hear from some of the people what they had to say. But obviously, his personal dealings does have a matter of fact in his money because when he broke up with the guy with Dame, that was a lot of the money that he was building up. But he was able to use that as a leveraging stick, and that's really one thing in business that Jay Z was able to do. His personality is what stood out. So now he has the personality that is like calm and relaxed and low key, so he could come around somebody and not, excuse me, and not be looked upon as a bad person. Whereas you got Dame Dash, and the videos came out from Choke No Joke, the video we just watched. Excuse me, he's the person who put those original videos out of Dame Dash snapping in those boardrooms and yelling. And Jay Z actually set those meetings up, but Jay Z wasn't in communication with Dame no more. So Dame was still basically running the business without actually having a communication with Jay. So when everything crashed, he was sitting back like, "What happened?" It was like, "Well, what happened was you not with me no more." And Jay moved on. And so to this day, he never went back around Dame. These are business moves that you make to build and keep your wealth. Because had he stayed connected to James Dash, maybe he wouldn't have been able to push himself to this point. But the people looking at him that do deals with you, it's a lot of cutthroat. It's a lot of really sharp business minded stuff. And you can't think like a personal friend. You can't think like a family member. You got to think cutthroat, and you got to think shrewdly. So it's like, no, we're not talking no more. We're not around each other no more. And Dame had to get away from him, which made other business people say, I can do business with you because you're shrewd. You can make a decision without emotion being caught in it. And then you leave Dame Dash talking about what used to be, and Jay-Z then moved on to 45 different business ventures, all off of his rap time, all off of being an artist. And then you still got the asset of your music. Your music, the music Jay-Z made over those years, is a literal asset. Each one of those things, each one of those songs make money. Each one of those albums make money. That's where Dame Dash missed. So as a business person, as a person thinking wealth, these are that you get royalties from music. They put your music in movies. You get sync licensing from music. You get concert money from music. You get play music on the radio, play music on streaming. It's 7 to 8 connections of money that you're making just from music. You know what I'm saying? So this is music videos. It's just 94 different levels of music. They playing your music inside department stores. Just so many ways you making money. Playing your music at the NBA. They playing your music in video games. All of this is money that Jay-Z is making, even though that's not something that they're talking about in his $1 billion spectrum. They might say he got all kind of art or he owned this kind of property. You know what I'm saying? So, but these things is what become assets because you've built up that money from the money you came in with, building off of your product and off of your connections. So that's what Jay-Z is light years away from anybody else as far as music go, as far as business go, as far as being a creative person go. He's stepped beyond leaps and bounds. And anybody who does business with him know that he's going to continue to promote those businesses. For instance, he got Live Nation, which has nothing to do with his particular music, but it got something to do with his current world of managing artists, of doing concerts, of being a part of the 360 deals and managing and doing deals with these people, getting them concerts and different shows and giving management deals. I don't even see how he keep up with it. How do you keep up with all the shit you got going on? That's probably why he sold the record. I mean, the clothing companies, because it take a lot more time and effort to be designing and doing those things. So he like, okay, sell that off. Let's go. I remember he had 40/40 clubs in L.A. in New York, and those are nightclubs that he had set up, and they closed those. So some stuff in business it crashed. It don't everything don't work out perfectly, and then some things in business it can continue to be a success story for you. You know what I'm saying? So man, that's what I got for y'all on this first episode. Right now, we just kicked it and talked about one of the dopest shows I like right now, The Wealth Hustle, and what it's all about. The Wealth Report. We pushing it. We giving it everything that we got right now. So we appreciate y'all looking at us and talking with us. And we'll have a new show coming up real soon, man. Thanks for watching.